Hi, audience. Parul here, your usual host and life and leadership coach. And today I have a special guest. So we will be introducing our special guest, who is Laura Akano. Laura is an etiquette coach. Laura works with children, teens, adults, and business owner. A subject that actually important to all of us, especially business owners. So today we will be focusing on business. I mean, Laura does a lot of stuff. She does a high tea, which we'll hear from Laura a bit more about it. But I just wanted you to know that you're going to be listening about a great subject, lots of top tips. So stay tuned. Laura, welcome on board, and thank you very much for giving us your time to share your expert knowledge on etiquette today.
Thank you very much, Parul, for inviting me on today. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you. So, Laura, I know I only talked a brief about you. Can you tell us a bit more about exactly what you do?
Well, what I do actually covers a myriad of aspects of people's lives. But if we're going to put it in a nutshell, it's really to help people understand how to conduct themselves around other people. And that is really what etiquette training does. It helps you to gain life skills in how you live your life and how you treat other people around you. And that really does make a big difference. I know a lot of people hear the word etiquette and they think of members of the royal family. It doesn't apply to me, but actually etiquette is in action in everything we do in every area of our lives, from how we speak to people, how we present ourselves, how we eat, respecting other people's cultures, going for meetings, whether business meetings or with colleagues representing your company. There's so much in etiquette in terms of how that can help people and empower them to be the best that they can.
Wow, thank you, and thank you for sharing. That's a lot. I remember, Laura, when I met you, I didn't know much about etiquette. All I knew was business office etiquette. But I've learned so much from you in terms of etiquette. And etiquette is so essential from very young age. I know you teach very young children as well. From nursery age onward. So that's amazing. Laura, today we're talking about focusing on business etiquette. Can you tell us a bit more about why you decided to teach etiquette? My first question. And my second question is why business etiquette is so important for entrepreneurs.
Okay. In answer to your first question, the reason I decided to start teaching etiquette was actually from working with children and young people for about 14 or 15 years. And I could see from observations not just the social skills, but also looking at some of the parents, the way they spoke to myself or my staff, and there was just a lot of rudeness and just people not really understanding how to treat other people or how to behave. So that is actually where the idea came about actually what can I do to help young people or people in general to improve their social skills and how they behave. And that's where the idea came from, etiquette training. So it wasn't something that came just like that, but by doing some research and thinking, what can I do that would actually help young people and perhaps adults as well to know how to conduct themselves and just behave better and treat other people and themselves better. And that's how the idea came about for me to learn how to teach etiquette and the difference it can make to people's lives. And in response to your second question about the importance of business etiquette really does make a difference to whether an entrepreneur, a company, or whether you even just maybe working with other colleagues. You have meetings. How do you behave? How do you prepare for meetings? How do you treat your colleagues? Do you respect other people's space when you're working? Telephone calls. How do you respond to telephone calls at work, whether it's a client, whether it's your colleagues? There's so many things that we don't maybe necessarily think about, but it happens in day-to-day life, and perhaps there are ways of dealing with things better that doesn't put the other people's backs off. So for example, if you were going to a networking event, maybe perhaps you're going to represent your company, what are the things that you should do to prepare? What are your goals for attending that networking event? And preparation does help as well in being able to make new contacts or get those clients that you're after. And also just working in a corporate environment, simple things as introductions. Do you know how to introduce colleagues or seniors to juniors, or clients to your colleagues at work? There's so many things that go on in terms of doing things properly that perhaps a lot of people don't necessarily think about. Maybe you need to take a client for a business lunch. How do you go about it? Should you drink? Shouldn't you drink? Who should pay? Who should decide when the business discussion should start? There are so many things that, as I said, we don't necessarily think about. But when you understand etiquette, when you've got the training, you understand how to make things happen and how to do things, it certainly makes life a lot easier.
Oh, thank you, Laura. Thanks for giving us the background and the importance of business etiquette. Now, you already touched on some of the point about the of business etiquette. Now, I'm going to ask you if you could share your top tips for business owners, entrepreneurs, your top tips, whether that's 3 tips or maximum 5 tips, how, as a business owner, we can conduct ourselves. Yes, your top tips, please.
Okay, there are so many. When when I think about the top tips, I have to say it's actually, if you work in a corporate environment, one of my top tips is to respect your colleagues, to respect other people's privacy and personal space at work. That is very important, that you would respect your colleagues. Maybe they're on the phone or they have certain things that they use, not just thinking, oh, I can just take this, or I can use their phone, or I can sit at their desk. It's very, very important to respect your colleagues, and not just in simple things like that, but in actually how you communicate with people, how you speak to people. So you may be a senior, you may be a manager, and you have a team of people that you work with, and maybe they report to you. It is very important to still speak to people with courtesy, with respect, and some kindness as well. That is one of the things I find that a lot of people talk about, problems with colleagues, because of the way they interact with them or the way they speak to them. And even just your general communication when you send an email to a colleague or a senior, when you maybe, if you do use messaging platforms as well, just thinking about how you communicate with people. That is one of the top tips I would definitely leave with people, to think about how they are coming across to other people. That is very important. My second tip would also be to always leave your professional hat on. So whether you're networking, whether it's so it could be a social dinner, but it's still under the umbrella of employment. And just to always bear in mind that because you're not at work, maybe you're out for lunch or dinner, or it's a company social event, never forget that you are still part of the company. This is still something related to your work or to your profession, and there still needs to be a level of decorum. So from simple table manners, good table manners, to the topics you talk about, how much alcohol you may consume as well. All of those things really matter. So never take off the hat that, oh, because we're not in the office now, I can do what I like. It's very, very important to still maintain a level of professionalism wherever you are. And my third tip that I would give would be that people should take pride in their appearance. So yes, people work in different fields, they work in different areas, and some may call for you to always be very smartly dressed, some maybe not quite. But I would always say it's still important to present yourself in a polished way. I would want to say, even if you work in an environment where it's very creative and you can be relaxed in your dressing, just taking pride in your outfit, in how you look, from your haircut, different things like that, really do matter in how people view you, in how people see you. And there's a lot of talk about first impressions, that yes, the experts say you've got between 7 and 10 seconds to make a good first impression. And that really does matter. So particularly if you were attending an interview, you could have lost that job in the first 7 to 10 seconds simply because of the way you've presented yourself. So I would always say that people should take some pride in how they present themselves and in their appearance. Those are some of the top tips that I would give. There are definitely a lot more, but those are some of the ones that I feel are really important.
Well, thank you very much, Laura, for your top tips. Definitely, respect is something we all need in life, business, office, everywhere. Very essential point. And I think and I see you do quite a lot of top tips during festive seasons. People get drunk during Christmas, even in office party. What you mentioned is, regardless of where you are, if it's a work party, always be professional. Yeah, you can drink, but be professional. And your last point about presentation, appearance, yes, absolutely essential. We need it all the time. People make judgment on us how we look in the flick of a second, really. So thank you very much for sharing your top tips. Now, Laura, you do a lot of trainings, a lot of coaching sessions. So if people want to get in touch more, to know more about what you provide, how you can help people, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
Well, people can visit my website and they're able to send a message if they want to get some information. So on the website, it's www.polishedmanners.co.uk. Also on Instagram as @polishedmannersuk. And people can also find me on LinkedIn under Laura Akano on LinkedIn.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Laura. If you were to leave one thoughts with our audience for today, what that would be?
Okay. One thing I always say to people is etiquette is about kindness, respect, and consideration for other people. And if you can do that on a day-to-day basis, if I say this, if I do this, what effect might it have on my colleagues or my family or people around me? And if you can just stop to think about how your actions or things you say or do may impact somebody else, especially in a negative way, if you can stop and think and rethink what you're doing, then that would really make a huge impact. If we can all do that on a daily basis, I believe the world will be a better place. If we can treat people with kindness, with respect and courtesy, that would be make a big difference in our daily lives and within our communities as well. So that is what I'd want people to stop and think sometimes before I say that, before I do this. Is it a kind thing? Is it going to negatively impact somebody else? That is what I would like people to stop and think.
Thank you, Laura. Great point. Kindness, courtesy, and respect. Absolutely essential. Well, Laura, thank you very much for your time today. And thank you for sharing your top tips. I'm going to put your details below this video so that people can click the button and get in touch if they need more information. Audience, so today you heard from Laura Akano, who is a etiquette coach, a specialist on etiquette, and you'll see more details below this video. Stay tuned. Please do share this video because you never know who you could help because sometimes that piece of information could be so important to somebody you know. So please do share, like, and subscribe to our channel, because when you subscribe, you get alert when we release next video. So stay tuned and have a great day.